So this is going to be introducing my French 2 students to the passé composé for the first time. The passé composé means that it is a verb form that is made up of 2 parts. It means composed, because you know that composed means something made up of more than one part. This word means composed in French. Composé, composed of 2 parts. The 2 parts of the verb together make the verb be in the past tense. The 2 parts that it takes are an auxiliary verb. How about somebody tell me if it goes off the screen? An auxiliary verb plus a past participle. In French, that's le verbe auxiliare plus le participe passé. These accents cause these E's to be pronounced. They need to be there. Passé, composé, participe, passé. In most cases, the auxiliary verb is avoir. And in English, sometimes people call that the helping verb. And so the helping verb means that this turns the verb into the past. And I like to use the word auxiliary verb because it just sounds more intelligent. Or le verbe auxiliaire, which is also more intelligent than helping verb. Helping verb sounds kind of like you're back in 3rd or 4th grade or something. So I'm going to use this term. So le verbe auxiliaire is usually avoir. It is not always, but usually. Avoir is conjugated in the present tense, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So avoir is the auxiliary verb to begin with. Usually it's avoir, plus the past participle. So that's how you do it. Past, oops, let's do it in, plus, I'll just do it in English. Plus the past participle. That could be participe passé or past participle. That means that avoir is in the present tense, and guess what the good news is? The past participle never changes. It never changes, no matter what verb you're using. It's wonderful. It's a little white lie, but you'll find out later why, but no big deal. It never changes. So, but avoir does change, and it has to be in the present tense, and that's why all of you have learned that to automaticity. So, Maggie, what is the present tense of avoir with je? Je. Everybody want to write these down just to help yourself review? Jeremy, what is it with tu? Oui, tu as. Il, elle, on. Michael, what is it with il, elle, on? Ah, très bien. And Bianca with nous? Oui, nous avons. I knew you knew it. Megan, what is it with vous? Vous avez. Il, elle, pluriel. Ben, what is it for il, elle, pluriel?
It's moi.
Brianna? No. Oui, on. Okay, so j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont. This part you need to know without having to think about it. And so that's where you're at this point, hopefully. You learned this verb last year, about a year ago, for the first time. We've reviewed it many times since. So be sure that you know this in the present tense. So in other words, and then if you're going to have avoir in the present tense plus a past participle, and the past participles are very easy to form. For example, manger in the infinitive You have on the all the regular ER verbs, you form the past participle by taking off that ER and putting an E accent aigu at the end. So it's manger. It sounds just like this, manger, manger. When you're speaking, it doesn't matter how you spell it. But when you're writing it, you absolutely have to have the accent over this E, and this is the very first time that this will count on a grade. Because you have to have that there, otherwise it looks like mange in the present tense. Je mange, j'ai mangé. They're two different things. I'm eating, I ate. We'll get to that in a minute. For the IR verbs, like finir, you take off the IR, and the past participle is fini. And for the RE verbs, such as rendre, it's a U on the end. Take off the RE, and it's rendu. So all the ER verbs have this E accent aigu. IR verbs and RE verbs. So, Jackie, how would I say you ate a sandwich with using this you?
What?
Anybody want to guess? Wait, Bianca? Chew. Well, let's use J. Okay, all right, chew. Let's use J since j'ai mangé. That was really a trick question because I hadn't given you any examples yet. I just basically made that really hard by asking you to do it without having seen any examples yet, so bravo. There's a big difference between j'ai mangé and je mange, though. So it's avoir plus manger. So what if I wanted to say that Jackie ate a sandwich? We'll use L. Oui, Christina. Elle a mangé. That's boring for her to eat the same thing I ate, so let's have her eat une pizza. Elle a mangé une pizza. Two parts. These two parts, avoir plus the past participle, are what put this verb in the past. If you don't have both parts, it doesn't make sense. You can't just put the past participle there. It doesn't make sense. You need both parts. How about, let's say how would you say that you all finished your homework? Nous avons. Remember how I told you the past participle never changes? Nous avons fini nos devoirs. These two parts put finir in the past. So if you are translating in your head, you may find that helpful at this point, but it will not be helpful later. This means we finished. It's like in English adding an ed onto finish, making it in the past. Some of you are probably realizing this could also mean we have finished. But it doesn't really mean that exactly. Your book's actually going to tell you it does. It's better if you just think of these two together as meaning finished. Because when we get to, there are a few verbs, about 25 of them or so, that take être for the auxiliary verb. That's in another lesson coming up. Don't worry about it right now. But when you get to those, you know, like if I want to say I went somewhere, it's je suis allé. And if you start translating this as to have, when you start using the ones with être, it's going to confuse you because it'll sound like you're saying I am and in your head, and that's not a good idea. So try just to be the best of your ability to just think of this as turning this one verb into the past. Let's do one more example. I think I made this way too long a video. It's almost 10 minutes long, but that's okay. We can upload hour-long videos on YouTube now, but that would be a bit long. So somebody, okay, Nikolai, can you tell me how you would say that you visited your think of a person you could visit? Your grandma?
Your dog.
It was a trick question. You need this verb to visit people.
I'm sad now.
Pardon?
What?
How would you say I visited a person? J'ai rendu visite. I'm sorry for doing that to you, Nikolai. It was a trick question. J'ai rendu visite à mon frère. However, to say I visited La Tour Eiffel, you could say j'ai visité, let's say Monaco, because we're going to see that in the book in a minute. Avoir plus the past participle. Avoir plus the past participle. It turns it into the past.
I have a question.
Oui.
What's your when do mean?
Rendu visite, when it's put together, it's the verb that you, I can't translate exactly. This is what you use when you're visiting a person. It's like to pay a visit,
And then
only it
visit-
doesn't,
And then visit is like a place.
Yeah.
Just, you don't have to put-
yeah. This is the verb here, and this is the verb. And so this is the thing you're paying. We say I paid a visit to my brother. This word doesn't really mean to pay.
Oh.
It's just in this
Is it like
situation.
more formal?
No, it's just the way you say that you visited a person. You're not supposed to use visiter with people when you're talking in French. They probably would understand you, but it would sound funny to them. So I think that went on a while.